Long ghosts whisper through the trees, cold winds carrying their pleas. Lives ended, stories untold, a heart of stone, a grip gone cold. They said it was him, they swore it was clear, blonde hair like smoke, the devil near. They said it was him, they swore it was clear, blonde hair like smoke, the devil near, a heart of stone, a grip gone cold. Long ghosts whisper through the trees, cold winds carrying their pleas. Lives ended, stories untold. They said it was him, they swore it was clear, blonde hair like smoke, the devil near. They said it was him, they swore it was clear, blonde hair like smoke, the devil near.
Hello.
Hello.
Correct. Justice must not just be done, it must be seen to be done.
Correct.
Yes. And right here, right now, with Mr. Martin Bryant, that shit hasn't happened at all. Nada. Zip. So welcome. And we have our lovely guest after the facts, Miss Tanya here with us today. So we're very lucky. She's graced us with her presence because she's the numbers gal. Good morning.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. Found some information out.
Yeah. Poor Tricia, she's unwell and it's snowing where she is and she feels like a bucket of poop. So send your healing stuff all the way to Kentucky. Actually,
Yeah, I hope you're
few
feeling
people
better.
in Kentucky that need that. I'm tipping. Just quietly. I feel like I'm hello. I feel like I'm
what about me? I mean, I've got the grandbaby lurgy again, childcare lurgy.
That's true.
So Bryce has got me on steroids and has upped my triglyceride to twice a day and antibiotics and yeah, lots of fun.
Fun, isn't it?
Yes. But anyway, that's the joy of grandbabies.
Do you want to give a quick overview of the Port Arthur Massacre?
What we're going to do today? Well, the Port Arthur Massacre, as we know, happened in 1996 by Martin Bryant, presumably, because there was never any trial or anything like that. Allegedly, that's it, yes. There's a lot of information that says yes and some that says no and some that says who the hell knows. And a lot of people have been quieted, which is quite interesting as well.
Well, there's a lot of conspiracy shit out there and a lot of speculation and a lot of information that's been hidden that never came out.
Oh, 100%. And just some of the odd things with the police interview and the lawyer and, you know, like, oh my gosh, he was crummy. And then he was sued and disbarred later on for stealing money off his clients or something. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 500,000.
Mm-hmm.
He did prison time for that.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So, yes, dodgy.
So, but today, what we're really going to go through is maybe Martin's relationship with a lady named Helen Harvey. And she was known as the Tattersall's heiress.
Yeah.
But what she really inherited is not a hell of a lot, to tell you the truth. But anyway, we'll go through that. And we'll go through the full history of Tattersall's to see where the money came from and what happened to it. And what happened to it with Martin? And, you know, everybody said, oh, he's got $29.7 million and all this kind of stuff.
Well, there's varying accounts from 500,000 to 29 million. And
that's correct, yes.
That's why we're following the money, honey.
Yeah. So we're going to just go through that. And as I was saying to you previously when we were discussing it personally, that it was set up not as a public company. It was private. And it was a number of family trusts and nice little complex organisations. Yeah, Tattersall's original from Mr. Harvey.
And that got taken over, didn't it, that company? Is that right?
Yeah, it got floated. It floated, and then it got taken over by Tabcorp, which is one of the big.
Floated mean? Does that go?
It floated on the Australian Stock Exchange.
Okay.
So it became a public company. And the shareholders had the rights to, like their current shareholders, had the rights to sell their shares, keep their shares, or do whatever the hell they wanted with their shares. And that was in 2006, I think it was. It started earlier than that, the contract negotiations, etc., because it takes a long time to float a company, like and raise money, because that's what they normally do. Is raise
keep any shares to itself, or does it sell all of them?
The company can't own its own shares.
So they then don't own it.
So they keep theirs. When they float, what normally happens is that the original owners keep their shares and then they issue more shares to raise money, venture capital. Well, not venture capital because it's not a venture. It's you're putting money in the company. You may never get it back, or you may get it back, or you may earn money off it. You may not. It depends on how that company goes in the Australian Stock Exchange.
51% so that they still own it, or how does that work?
Look, it depends on the negotiations at the time. It really does, and who owns it and what they want out of it and how it was structured previously. So there's a lot of complications in these areas. I don't understand a lot of that,
how it works.
Yeah. So let's say you and I had a little company and we developed, you know, some U-Butte thing and we said, yeah, it's going to make us millions. Let's float it and raise some
fixes arthritis.
Yeah, and cures lipedema. Yeah. So let's float it on the Australian Stock Exchange and raise some capital so that we can really take this to market and do something with it and get it out there.
How much do you know? How do you know how much to ask for a share?
Look, you go to an accountant that specialises in that kind of stuff, you know, and gets paid the big money.
Right. Yeah, go to someone who knows what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You don't go pro se.
No, like if you went to KPMG or Price Cooper's Waterhouse, they're PCW now, even who I used to partner with, what's the other one, Hungerford something now? Oh, their names change so often. I mean, even the company I worked for, Thompson Douglas and Associates, they sold off the office that I worked for, which was Thompson Douglas and Associates in Tamworth, New South Wales, and they sold it off to the current partners there once Mr. Lee retired, who was the old original partner. So Brian, Brosey and Dennis Martin then became the owners, and it became Brosey Martin. So then Thompson Douglas itself was then taken over by Grant Thornton. And a friend of mine who was actually a partner in the Sydney office made quite a lot of money, lots and lots of money. A good friend of mine still. Met him again, like I knew him when I was working there in the, late 80s, early 90s. And I ran into him again in 2006. And we still talk and, say good day to each other at times and stuff. So he's a good friend, So that was inside. And he got paid out. He didn't want to become an accountant anymore. So in 1997, million, I think he got paid out. And I don't think I should disclose so much. I do know, but yeah. Yes, because it's his
It was a lot.
information. Yeah, it was a bit, yeah. So since then, he's been a professional gambler.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and a bit of a venture capitalist. Yeah, he won a World Series of Poker bracelet in 7-card stud 1 year. And yeah, and he plays PLO high stakes cash games a lot. He loves going to the World Series, not so much to play the tournaments, but to play the cash games. That's where he makes his money, where all the whales turn up. And he has an apartment over there, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Is that
So
a picture of the Tassie one?
yeah, and there's one in
what they used to look
Brisbane.
like.
Yeah, there's one in Brisbane as well because they moved their head office to Brisbane. After all, yeah,
Why is
later
that
on,
so
yeah.
narrow?
Make it full screen.
Yeah. It's. Oh no.
What's that?
Oh, can you not see what I just did?
No.
My screen just went ginormous.
Oh,
not
did
the
it?
one that not the one that I wanted. No. Keep going. I'll play with this.
So let's just have a bit of a run through. Hey, through what happened with Tattersall's. I do have.
So it's called Tats now, isn't it? Or Tats.
Oh yeah, it's the lot now. Actually, it's called the lot. Yeah, so it's not actually called that anymore.
It's like a big fucking Mac.
Like a Big Mac. Yeah. If you actually go to the Tats website, which actually I might bring that one up first.
Actually, I have a link to. Oh, that did jack shit, didn't it? Oh well. That I found before. So it's the encyclopedia for Tattersalls.
Oh, yes.
Oh, there it is. Let's see what it does. Search this page title. Oh. I don't want to have to do any work. Just tell me.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. Okay, so what I'm just going to do is bring this one up.
I'll put the link in there. Hey, Simi, how you going? I'll put the link in chat because I think it might take you somewhere. It's supposed to take you to a site that tells you what her net worth was.
No, but that I wouldn't go through that because I don't believe that's correct.
Yeah, it says here, what is it worth? There's an entry on this site which says 26 million. However, it also says that Helen was the owner of the company,
which was not correct. That's exactly right.
Yeah. Share, which provided an income. That's all. So,
and that's what I said to you before, that you can have different types of shares in companies. Some that have interest in the income, some that have interest in the assets, and some that just are management shares. Like, you might have a managing director of your company and you don't want him to, you want him to have a say at a board meeting, but you don't want him to actually own shares in the company or gain extra income from that because he's on other profit share stuff, Yeah. So, but let's look at this one here.
I'll just go back to the start for 1 second because I'm not sure if Simi knows the full story. So I'll just,
all right.
What we're going through is the Port Arthur massacre. Martin Bryant, who was convicted of the 35 killings at the Port Arthur site back in 1996. And we don't, well, it's my opinion that he actually did not commit that crime. He's been sentenced to 35 consecutive life sentences. He served 30 years already. And while he was about, 23, I think, he met this woman in Hobart who was an eccentric recluse called Helen Harvey. And she was the heiress to the Tattersall's fortune over here. And when she died suddenly, she actually left all of her estate to Martin. So, but there are varying reports on how much her net worth was. Some say 500,000, and some say 28 million, because those funds, when Martin became incarcerated, were to go to the victims of crime and go back to the victims. And I don't believe that
I don't believe it's been distributed.
No.
Yeah.
No. Not if you speak to the victims. They
Correct.
Yeah. No. So that's where we're at.
We're live.
Hi, Ricky.
Oh.
Good.
So Tattersall's is the gambling big thing in Australia.
Yes.
And how it all started, which on their actual website, which is the lot. Let's just get this up here. How do I get up there? How do I? It's not going up. Can you put it up?
Pardon, what was that?
This thing.
That?
Yeah. Oh, because we're in front of it. Okay. So can we make that?
You'll have to
bigger?
just zoom. That's all.
Yeah, that's okay. I can do that.
It's really interesting, Simi. It's a 30-year-old case, and I've done a few videos on it now, but he has an IQ of 66, so he's in the lowest 1% of the population, and it's he's basically got the intellectual capacity of a 10-year-old. And I believe that he was pretty much the perfect patsy. So it was put on him because he was an easy target, basically. And it was very so it was the media really that were against him for all of it. There is absolutely no evidence at all for him being there at all, for him committing those crimes. There were people, he was well known to the site because he used to go down and have morning teas with Helen at the cafe. So the staff knew him. And victims, there were 200 people in the cafe that day, 200 witnesses, and only 2 of those people identified Martin as the shooter. In fact, there was plenty of victims and witnesses that have made statements that it wasn't him, but he was coerced by his he confessed it. His defense attorney coerced him into a guilty plea by getting his mother to tell him that if he didn't plead guilty, he would never see her and his sister again. So he pleaded guilty, and this is where we're at. So he didn't have any of his his statutory rights addressed at all. He didn't have representation in interviews. He didn't have a guardian, nothing. And then as far as Australian law goes, with that level of IQ, he's deemed as being intellectually disabled. So he is covered under the Disability Act as well. So that's why we're covering it, because it's actually starting to come out now. Like, people are starting to pick up on it, and it's starting to gain some traction. Did you know that Paul Motor has had his channel blocked by YouTube?
That's the Wasp guys.
Yeah, he's the one that's been researching it for 9 years, and every one of my Martin Bryant streams have been copyright written, or they've been said, there's some restriction on them. Every single one.
Oh, wow.
And I haven't used anyone else's content. So, yeah, something's going on. And they've sealed files until 2093 or something like that.
Yeah, it's 99 years or some rubbish. Yeah. So let's have a look. Yeah.
Miss Dude.
There's some interesting things that really happened with Tats. Like, not only in the beginning, but also after the public float, well after Martin had gone to jail and everything like that. So it's, yeah, quite an interesting way they did things. So what happened here is way back in 1881, it all started with George Adams, who didn't have any children, no beneficiaries, and he started doing a public sweep on the Melbourne Cup, just like we do in the office every year, where, there's 24 horses in the Melbourne Cup. It's a 2-year-old horse race over 3,200 metres, and which is 2 miles.
Biggest race of the year.
Biggest race of the year, and we actually have
race
public
I've ever
holiday
been on.
for a horse race. Yeah,
It's the only race I've ever been on. Actually, Tarisky, I had a bet in our Melbourne Cup this year.
Oh, well, there you go in your sweeps.
She came last.
Oh, the ambulance. Mine's usually just behind the ambulance, the one I'm So what he did was, I'm not sure if you know what a sweep is. I mean, you get all 24 horses and people buy tickets for like $5, $2 each. Yeah, and they give them a random number, and whoever wins gets, like obviously who's running it. I mean, when we're running it at home, we don't keep any of the money. Yeah. But when when he did it, it was actually a public offering, and I think he ran more than one. He ran multiple sweeps because there was quite a bit of interest, and and for all different prices. Sometimes people will run a $5 sweep, $10 sweep. Well, yeah. I'm sure there was $1,000 sweeps and things like that still going on today even. So he was doing that in Sydney, and Sydney said, oh, no. We can't have gambling like that in our state. Bug off. So it became, known as the milestone of it. Before that, he was a pub owner. A publican. He was a coach driver, a stock dealer, so in cows and sheep and stuff like that. A saddler, so he made saddles, fixed saddles. A baker, a goldfields hopeful. Yeah, so we went out in the goldfields. But then he decided it might be a little bit easier life running lotteries. Yeah. So, but what he did is he talked to the Tasmanian government. And he thought, oh, okay, well, let's go down there. And this was about 1895. I mean, during that time, he still owned pubs, and I believe that's when he started the Tattersall Hotel. Yeah, in Melbourne. Yeah, the one in Melbourne. Because he moved to Melbourne and tried the same thing there. Then they said, no, can't do that. So then when he moved to Tasmania, that government actually gave him a license to run lotteries, which was really cool. And it was for a number of bank properties that were no longer useful to them. So the government were putting up these properties and they got their money back, and the property went to the winner. And he was also allowed to do this in New Zealand as well. So, which was quite interesting. So, in New Zealand here, he was allowed to do it. And then, there was different kinds of lotteries and things like that. So, this is just going through the kind of missed a few years there in between. In the early 90s, it became an important revenue source for Tasmania. Now, they're saying later on it actually became over half the revenue for Tasmanian government.
Wow.
Took their cut, yeah. Well, I mean, Tasmania's pretty small. Yeah. Because what happened when he started this license down there, it was just when the hydrotherapy. What's called the hydro station, the hydropower station was being built. So there was a lot of people down there, a lot of men, young single men, etc., that had a little bit of money to spare and thought, well, geez, I can put my money in a lottery and maybe win something. And then in 1953, they discussed transferring some to Victoria, and that was successful because Victoria thought, shit, look at Tasmania getting all this money.
Yeah.
We're smaller than, we want some of this now.
Can't have that.
So, Can't have that, yeah.
Nuh-uh.
And then New South Wales obviously got on board before 1957 because they held the Tattersall Opera House lottery. And now there's still the Opera House lottery, I think, was going until not many years ago. Obviously, you didn't build an opera house back then, but you certainly, it was just named that, yeah. So it was the lottery number one, tickets in the Opera House lottery number one, and the tickets were £5 each, or $10 Australian, because we were still back in 1957, we were still using the pounds and the shillings and the pence. Each with a first prize of £100,000, which was a bloody hell of a lot of money back then. So that was something that got them into New South Wales. And then in 1972, the first lotto draw was the Tats Lotto, and it was launched. And the game is 6 from 40 numbers and designed to produce large first prizes. So, and you could buy in for all different amounts, and you still can. It still runs today. This is actually it's called the Lot now, and the official home of the Australian Lotteries. After all the mergers and everything have happened, and demergers and destructures and restructures. Yeah, so, you could buy, I remember it was $2. Remember how the $2 note was green, right?
Yeah.
When we had a $2 note instead of a coin. And you could buy a $2 ticket and it was green. And you could buy a $5 ticket and it was purple, the same as the purple $5 note. So there were all different prices you could pay for your lotto, etc. And the draw was held on Thursday nights, but it moved to Saturday nights later on. Now, it was not done on TV or anything like that back then. So it kind of, the governments in New South Wales and Victoria said, well, we should really have this televised and supervised. It was supervised by the relevant authorities, the gambling government department there, etc. Yeah. And then in 1982, they started instant lotteries, which is your scratchy tickets. So you can imagine how much revenue this builds. I mean, each newsagent.
My mum couldn't pass a newsagent without getting one.
Without buying one, yeah. Yeah, so they've gone very quickly through their history and not really gone through a lot of it. But let's just go through theirs first. And just you can see how much the money developed and how much this thing was really worth, right? Mm-hmm. So then they had instant lotteries. And then they've now started a card that you could register, because you actually had to go back to the newsagent, or when it was the paper ones, before even the printed ones, without the registration, you actually had to go to the lottery agent and collect your winnings. And it would take ages. It would take months, because they'd have to go find the original ticket and verify it's you and all that kind of stuff. And most people, and there was no registration. So as long as you had that little ticket in your hand, it was yours. Yeah, then in 1984, as a registration service, now named as Tats Card. All right. So they also had a few things with that which aren't said here. Is what they did is they sold through newsagents, where you buy your newspaper and magazines and stuff like that. And they made it mandatory for anybody that sold their tickets to go on this new electronic system. And trying to get people to register. And the cards were originally $2. You had to pay $2 for your card. Well, they're free now. It just entices people to register. And it now means, next morning at 9 o'clock, you're going to get a phone call if you've won. It says, hey, you won. So, and then you're going to say, oh, get out of here. Who is this? Is that you, Jody? Bullshit. No. Wasn't me. A lot of people do say that at the start, actually. So then in 1990, let's see what else they did. Club Keno was the next thing.
Oh.
Yeah, which is a computer-generated game which draws every 5 minutes, instant cash payouts and large jackpot prizes. So that was introduced in South Australia and is now around the country. Now, Western Australia is the only state that doesn't get involved. They have their own little lottery system, and that's about it. Yeah. And so the Lotto was only originally in Victoria. So you couldn't get tickets originally in other states. And then it developed it. We'll sell you tickets too. And then we've got Oz Lotto, which is now Thursday night. And Tuesday night, is it? Was Thursday night originally, wasn't it? I can't remember.
Fuck's fun. I never bought the tickets.
All the draws used to be then televised, and you'd sit there and you'd watch little balls come out of the machine. And Delvine Delaney was hosting it for a while. Done Paul Hogan's best mate, Strop, his wife. Yeah, so she used to supervise it sometimes, as well as the lottery people were there watching it to make sure they didn't swap balls or anything. So then it's a little bit different.
Don't be playing with your balls now. Don't be playing with your balls.
Yes, we're all playing with balls. Yep. And then we've got Powerball now, which is now another one where you pick your numbers, but then there's an extra ball that comes out, and it's called the Powerball. And if you get that, then you get even more. Yeah. So that's another one. And the Set for Life, which is another one now. So with first prize, it's a scratchy type thing. And with first prize of $20,000 every month for 20 years.
Oh.
Yeah. So that would be really nice. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah.
And today, the official lotteries continues to turn dreams into reality. I knew this old couple in Tamworth when I was doing accounting, and they won lotto one time. And I mean, it was the late. So I started in 85, so it would have been the late 80s, early 90s. And he was a player at the Nundle Bowls Club. He lived at Nundle, and his lovely wife, they've been married 30-odd years, 40-odd years maybe even. And you know what he did? He got the Nundle Bowling Club renovated and didn't change a thing about his life. Wore the same old shirts, drove the same old car. So, some
Unlike
people do,
Barton here. So if you can imagine what a 10-year-old does with a squillion lot of bucks thrown at you, that's pretty much how he behaved. So he didn't make it something that was very private. He actually exploited is not the right word, but showed off that he had some money. Yeah. So that's how I think he was actually targeted. Yeah,
because even back then, I mean, what he got, even though it wasn't a hell of a lot.
That was a big amount then, yeah.
Plus Teresa, a lot of people do. Yeah. Teresa, a lot of people do go broke. They go and spend it all. And, yeah.
Well, they don't know how to manage it.
That's right. They get this money and they just don't know what to do with it. Yeah.
Or they get ripped off by idiots.
Oh, yeah, exactly right. Yeah. So, it really depends on how they are with handing their money. So, on Wikipedia, obviously, not the one that you said, there is actually full. I must have opened that yet. Okay. Just open that. History of it. Which a lot more information that, obviously they don't really want you to know these days.
And you found it, did you?
Yeah, look, the Wikipedia is not bad. It gives you a fair bit of information, but some of the other stuff I found after that, because this tells you more what they went into and how much money this thing was really worth and why they were getting that much money per year, because they were getting, a lot of money. Mm-hmm. That is a definite. Helen and her mother were definitely getting a lot of money. So
was that the
put that one up the screen? That's the $450,000 a year, or $470,000 a year.
That's the income from the shares, isn't it?
Correct. No. Okay, so we'll go through that in a sec. That's coming up, okay? Because it's more about what we talked about. Can you chuck that one up on screen for me?
Oh, hang on. Oh, sorry, I'm on another page. Hang on. I'm not multitasking at all.
Oh, sorry. Because I can't throw
No,
them
no.
up on screen, but yeah, I can put them there.
That one? That it?
Yeah, that one. Okay, and I'll just zoom in a bit on that so you can see that a
Yeah.
bit better. Where's the zoom there? Can I? Because that's full screen on mine. I don't understand. Oh, is it?
I find it's easier to do the zoom.
Oh, that's better. Just,
Yes.
no, to come in and make
Yeah.
the screen smaller and then it goes
Yeah.
bigger. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. The company
Get rid of
had
that thing
3
on the bottom.
divisions. Sorry?
Get rid of that ad on the
Oh,
bottom.
yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's the give us money thing. Wiki's going broke. Go away. I'm doing it on your screen instead of my screen. There we go. Okay. In the end, the tax group had a lot. So they merged in 2017 with Tabcorp Holdings, which is one of the biggest gambling operators in Australia. They do the TAB, which is where you bet on horse racing in Australia, other than bookies.
Or hide money you don't want to send to the banks.
Yeah, you put it in your Tabcorp, and if you don't, in account. And if you don't want, send a link to CERT or whatever,
And the tax department doesn't look there either. I didn't say that out loud.
No, that's right. They don't. Now, as of I don't do lotto. I don't have luck like that. Yeah, no, I don't really either. So as of 2013, they had Tats Lotto, which operated in Victoria, Tasmania, and the Northern Territory, which you could buy tickets in any state. The Golden Casket, which exclusively operates lotteries in Queensland. The New South Wales Lotteries, which is in New South Wales and the ACT. I bought a $10 ticket, won 300 and didn't buy no more. I think, it's the only time you're ever going to be ahead.
Did I tell you? Can I just tell you a funny story? Like 2 years ago for my birthday, my mum decided, because she lives up in Queensland, she thought, I'll buy her a Tats Lotto ticket. No, I'll buy her a Tats Lotto ticket and send it down to her in a card, right? So she bought it, and she must have bought it the week before my birthday. So the actual Tats Lotto
was already drawn.
Had been drawn, and she completed the fucking ticket, and it didn't win, but still put it in the card and sent it to me.
She checked the point and everything. Cool.
Oh, what fucking hell.
Oh, gosh. So this is just saying, what they had, after these days is what they've got. So Tats had a wagering license in subsidiary in Queensland called UBET, and in South Australia, the Northern Territory, and Tasmania. Most of these assets were previously owned by Unitab before it merged with Tattersall's. So, and that all happened, the finalisation of the merging happened in 2007. So it's all well after Martin inherited this. They also had a couple of other companies.
94, didn't he? I think that's when she died.
92 she died. 92
okay,
she died.
92.
Yeah, in the car accident. Yeah.
Hmm.
Right. And they also got in that amalgamation Max Gaming and Bytecraft, which was the pokies. 1,350 poker machines in Victoria alone. So they rolled out the pokies in Victoria. Yeah.
Well, my dad profited off that too. He was paid. He was making the sheet metal for the casings.
Right. And so then they had a bike company called Bytecraft, which serviced them all. So they had it all covered.
Yeah.
So it was 13,000. So Tats operated over 13,000 gaming machines in Victoria from 1994. Imagine how much they're making out of those. Because I was talking to somebody at the Ferntree Gully Hotel. They haven't got a very big pokies area. You've seen how many they've got there. What, they have 30 poker machines, you reckon, there?
Oh, yeah.
That pub makes over $1 million a year out of it. They don't make money out of anything else there. It's pokies. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So
pokies and car parks in Melbourne.
Yeah. That's it. So back in 1881, George Adams moved from Australia to England at the age of 16, did his publican stockbroker baker, And while working as a publican in Sydney in 1881, that's when he started to be an SP bookie and do his sweeps on horse races. However, the company started a serious lottery when he moved to Hobart in 1895, and it was supported by the Tasmanian government, which, as I said earlier, the New South Wales government didn't, well, poor old Tassie didn't have much income, a bit of tourism from going and seeing Port Arthur.
Yeah, well, that died in the arse after 1996, didn't it?
Did it? Yeah, I would like to see how much.
Yeah, that affected tourism.
Yeah,
actually,
exactly.
it probably heightened the ghost tours.
Yeah,
Maybe.
probably did. And they had what was called totalisers. That was, remember the old totes at the race course? Like you had your SP bookies, and then they had the totes. Yeah, and then in the TABs they had the totes. It was called. It was a machine that printed out your tickets and stuff like that. Yeah, so in Tasmania is where that started. So that was interesting. So when Tattersall's was founded, George Adams structured the company so that his original workers' families would inherit the profits. This created the so-called Tattersall's heirs. Subsequent generations inherited a share in the company's profits. Amongst the subsequent beneficiaries was the general manager's granddaughter, Helen Harvey, close friend of Martin Bryant. So, and in 2005, they decided to list on the Australian Stock Exchange, or Securities Exchange it was called then. The Tattersall's heirs were now allowed to sell their stake in the company, and for the first time the public could buy into it. After the listing on the stock exchange, local newspapers and other medias listed the names of the heirs, which a lot of them didn't really like. Yeah, because it was in there, I think. Because there's some pretty influential people that are in there, actually. So then that's just, yeah. So with these Tattersall's heirs, though, it was quite interesting what they did and did not inherit. So some of them inherited shares, but the restriction was, so I found out, and I'm not exactly sure where I found that, to tell you the truth. Oh, that was funny after it was, yeah. This is funny because this discontinued operations. What happened after the company floated? Right. Their gaming license came up in Victoria. In 2012, the company's license expired. It was not renewed. So the government didn't renew their license in Victoria because Victoria now controlled it. Tasmania was only, it's a public float, but the head office was in Victoria. And under the agreement, it was quite interesting. The Tats actually ended up suing the Victorian government for compensation because otherwise the company's worth nothing. Well, the pokies are still pretty good. Oh, no, this is the gaming machines. This is yeah. So Tats said, well, we're entitled to the infrastructure that we had to pay to set up the pokies operation. So imagine what 13,000 poker machines are worth. Because the government materially benefited from this structure. So on June 2014, the Supreme Court of Victoria found that, sorry, I didn't read the one before it said, yeah. The government argued that the contract stated that compensation would be paid if the licenses were granted to any other party from 2012. But instead, they didn't grant licenses, they granted entitlements to other operators, and thus alleged they didn't have to pay any compensation. Now, who was the Premier then in 2014?
Fuck if I know. Howard?
Maybe Mr. Brax? Premier, not bloody Prime Minister. Maybe Mr. Brax or something. The government argued...
I don't do politics.
Yeah. No, neither do I. On June 26, 2014, the Supreme Court of Victoria found that the entitlements were in effect licences under the contract the government signed with Tats and awarded them $451 million, plus court case and interest.
Wow.
Tabcorp Holdings also sued because they were a party to it as well, under a separate agreement it had made with the government. How the Supreme Court of Victoria said that their agreement only referred to the specific licences of the time, and thus Victorian government owed no compensation. So because they said it was different, the wording. So that was quite interesting, I thought. And yeah, basically, they haven't done well on. I mean, they've maintained their value, but they haven't really done that well on the exchange. So in 2017, Tats then merged after that with Tabcorp, which was the biggest horse racing establishment we have in Australia, and is now traded under the security code TAH on the Australian Stock Exchange. So that's what's happened over all those years. But still, Max Gaming and Bikecraft have still got their licenses to service and that. And they've all the poker machines and to sell the poker machines. So, which is lots of fun. And Max Gaming also provides monitoring and value-added services to the gaming machine industry. So the governments have mandated legislative monitoring for all gaming machines they're licensed. Like at midnight on New Year's Eve, you will find every poker, well, it's at 1:45 actually, every poker machine in Australia will shut down. For about half
At midnight?
Yeah, at 1:45. 1:45. My sister used to help with the auditing in the Queensland ones. It was quite
every day.
New Year's Eve. 11:45, they shut them all down. And by about 12:30, they're all back up. And at Crown, they actually kick you out to do it. It's quite funny. They close the casino. You've got to get out. And, I mean, the fireworks are just about to come on anyway. So if you're up in the restaurants, it's fine. But the gaming floor is closed. Yeah. Even poker. I mean, what the hell's that got to do with poker machines? But anyway. So, and then they do an audit of what the readings all are. And then they have to calculate it all back to last year's and blah, blah, blah. That's to protect the industry, right? And they've also got to look at, the correct prizes are being paid, the percentages are being paid out of the machines. So Max Gaming is a subsidiary, owns New South Wales, Queensland and Northern Territory. Queensland is only monitoring that license that isn't exclusive. Nonetheless, Max Gaming still has around 80%. So, and Bikecraft specialises in electronics company that Tats acquired primarily to maintain their gaming machines. However, the company isn't limited to gaming machines as it has a major contract for Telstra's payphone networks. So you can see where all this money's coming. I mean, the pokies is obviously the big one. Once Victoria. Because you guys didn't get pokies till then. I couldn't believe that. New South Wales had pokies as long as I could remember. Dad and Maria go play bowls when I was a kid and we'd be outside the window saying, play this one, Dad, so we could watch him play. So, yeah. And, they've always made squillions of dollars. And that was a bit about the UK and all that kind of stuff. Now, we've got some more information.
So basically,
yes,
it came down from the mother's grandfather. Is that right? So the mother's grandfather was David.
No, the father's father, because it's Harvey is the name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Her name was something else. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to bring this one up. Yeah, this one.
So
and
how long did they know each other before he died?
Who? Oh, Martin. Oh, yeah, that comes up in a bit. Okay. Yeah. So we're just going to do the tax thing so people can see how much money it was really, really worth. And then I'm going to say why it wasn't worth anything to Martin. Okay? So that is that tab, wealth. There you go. Pop that one up. Okay, but widen that out a bit. Oh. Here we go. In 2005 was when this was all floated. So despite the promise of a major personal windfall from the public float of gaming giant Tattersall's, Peter Kane is not entirely happy. For the Tasmanian businessman from Glenorchy, the lifting of the 100-year veil of secrecy surrounding the names of the beneficiaries is unwelcome and unnecessary. So they didn't really like to hear about this. I don't agree with having my name plastered all over Australia. I don't have a lot of time for the media, he said. Kane, a supporter of the float, said almost all of his fellow beneficiaries agreed with the stock sale, but few would be happy with having their names publicly revealed on its share register. Well, if it's a public company, then you've got to have your name on the share register, yeah.
How many were beneficiaries? Oh, that's the next.
A descendant of David. Yeah, you did. A descendant of David H.C. Harvey, the lottery manager for Tattersall founder George Adams. Kane has about 800,000 shares worth about 2.4 million. He was one of the 2,500 beneficiaries who stand to gain millions when Tattersall's lists on the share market in 2 months. So this was written in 2005. The company's share register.
I'll be a sec.
Okay. Was created by a company called CompuShare. So in Australia, I don't know how it works in the States, must be pretty similar. We have companies that deal specifically with floating them, and they're in charge of what happens on the stock exchange and control the stock exchange portion of it. So CompuShare were the ones that were running that. The company's share register was created by CompuShare on Wednesday and reveals that what had been kept secret for the Adams estate had owned Tattersall's, and currently there were 250 primary beneficiaries, mostly in Victoria, Tasmania, and New South Wales. The 2,250 secondary beneficiaries, who included former and current employees. When Adams died childless in 1904, which I've actually got his obituary in the newspaper, which I can show later, the Tattersall's wealth was passed on to 12 original beneficiaries, mostly business associates and Tasmanian politicians who helped him get the company off the ground. The will gave 10% to lottery manager Harvey, sweeps manager Elliot Grant, George Adams's brother William, and business associate Thomas Lyons. Another group received 5%. The Tasmanian Premier, now which Edward Braddon, it sounds a bit iffy there, giving some to the Premier, but anyway, a bit of a kickback. So yes, he got 5%. And Chief Secretary Sir Philip Fish, backbenchers of Parliament Alfred Page and Henry Rooke, lawyers William Fenley and Gerald Barry, along with Henry Thorpe and John Curran. And these are pretty famous names in Australia. In the ensuing 100 years, it seems most shares had been handed down through the families of the original beneficiaries of the Adams will. The biggest shareholder in Tattersall's today, which is when it floated, which has about 80 million shares, was worth about 240 million, was a company called Tasmanian Proprietary Limited, which was linked with the Lyons family. Again, we can go through the history of all these families, but there's quite a few of them to go through. The biggest individual shareholder is believed to be William Adams Jr., a company trustee and direct descendant of William Adams, whose stake, that was his brother, Mr. Adams's brother, is worth 80 million. Another major player, Julian Plast, has shares to be worth about 76 million. Australian Enterprise Holdings is a significant shareholder in Tattersall's with 25 million shares and is associated with the Players family. So this is why people didn't know who they were, is because they were either private people or they were private companies that owned the shares in these companies, in Tats. And it was through family trusts and all different little things that they created with some, effective accounting. So Tattersall's employee beneficiary, Peter Frannick of East Ivanhoe, which is in Melbourne, said he was delighted with the public float, which he said would bring great benefit to the company. It's a very exciting time, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to be working for Tattersall's. He had more than 61,000 shares, said beneficiaries were prepared for the float and were aware their names would be listed on the stock exchange, on the register. It brings down any criticism that the company's not transparent. It's that's what comes with public life. Because this is where the government was concerned too, with a lottery company being owned privately, was that, is it, open to very transparency and, is this all rigidage? Richard Dillon from Alstonville in northern New South Wales, which my mother lives near there. She lives in Ballina. Everyone in the family is happy about it, he said. His wife Lisa was a direct descendant of one of the original employees. Other beneficiaries contacted by the newspapers, however, did not want to comment and were uncomfortable about being in the public sight. Tattersall's chairman, David Jones, said the release of the gaming giant's prospectus demonstrated that Tattersall and secrecy were no longer synonymous. So we have done the most dramatic dance of the 7 bars in corporate history. The prospectus and share registry will bury forever the idea that Tattersall's is a secret organisation. Because they even used to say the clubs, were secret organisations that, only certain people with certain types of wealth became members of, which I had been to the Tats Club in Brisbane. A good friend of mine married Sir James Killen, who was the Defence Minister in the Fraser government, and he and his lovely wife took me there a number of times. That was his second wife.
Hello.
Well, here she is. So, and then, yeah, we can hear you. You're in bed.
Yeah.
Cool. So, and then Tattersall's cheek.
I'm testing it out. Bed goes up.
Cool, yep. You're actually yelling. We can actually hear you yelling, so you don't have to yell quite as much.
Cool.
Yeah. So, and others are saying, like the chief executive, Duncan Fisher, saying, they were unaware of any negative reaction from the beneficiaries being listed on the share register. So, and they're very excited that, it's no longer known. Because I was just saying, Jodie, even back in the day, I mean, when I lived in Queensland, Sir James married Bernice on September 11, and he was a member of Tats Club. And, they always said Tats was a very secret organisation, even the clubs, and that you had to have a certain amount of wealth to be a member and all this kind of stuff. So, yeah, I used to go there for lunch with them sometimes. And they used to cook old-fashioned things, like you could have brains for lunch or lamb's fry and gravy and,
I remember my mum feeding me that when I was a kid. And I remember the consistency. It's disgusting.
Yeah, brains.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and corporate general manager Simon Dole. And I was saying here, some of the beneficiaries from which you just missed. Were you listening at all?
Yeah.
Oh, so you heard that, like, the Premier was given and some backbenchers and all this kind of stuff were given shares out of the will for helping him,
By listening, you meant comprehending or hearing sound?
Yes. yeah, that one, yeah. So, like, that sounds a bit sus to me that, okay, these guys got you up and running, help you get up and running. But they got their values worth, yeah. Okay. And, they were all saying they were very confident that they will meet any challenges without any problems now that it was publicly listed company. And back here it said, like, which you weren't listening, there were 250 primary beneficiaries and 2,250 secondary beneficiaries, right, who include former and current employees. So when his wealth was passed on, 12 original beneficiaries, so these are the big ones, okay, 10% to the lottery manager, Harvey, that was his brother, sweeps manager, Elliot Grant, Jordan, oh no, that was his brother. Sorry. Oh, Harvey, yeah, his first name was Harvey. That always confused me. Yes. So the lottery manager, his name was Harvey. And, like, that was his first name. And so he got 10%. The sweeps manager, Elliot Grant, got 10%. George Adams' brother and associate Thomas Lyons Group received 5% each. The Premier, Edward Braddon. Chief Secretary Sir Philip Fish. Backbenchers Alfred Page and Henry Rook. Lawyers William Finlay, Gerald Barry, along with Henry Thorpe and John Curran. So they're through the next 100 years, they've been handed down through the generations. and families of the original beneficiaries of the Adams will. The biggest shareholder in Tattersall's today, just before they floated, was a company called Tasset, and linked with the Lyons family. So if you go look up some of these families, you will find they are some of the richest families in Australia.
Is the Lyons family like the part of the Lions Club?
Yes.
Charity?
Yeah. And he got stake of, 240 million, 80 million shares. And then the biggest individual shareholder is believed to be William Adams Jr., which is the original owner's nephew, a company trustee and direct descendant, whose stake is worth $80 million. Julian Playhurst, shares worth about $76 million. Australian Enterprise Holdings, which is the Playhurst family, 25 million shares. So there was, quite a lot of people in there. And Richard Dillon, his wife, was a direct descendant. And, some of these people didn't really want their names put out there that they had this money coming to them. Another.
I can still control.
You can still control. So that's what we see, and then they merge with Tabcorp, and they're the biggest gambling thing.
So
in
you're
Australia.
trying to tell me that all of that money, when like one person can have $80 million worth of shares, why is it not something that is beneficial to Martin?
So the way this was set up, now I found that, and I think I still have that on my phone. Here we go. Sorry, I had a bit more confused.
I can't read
back together.
I can't read the comments from here. I can put them up, but I can't read them.
Why not? Oh, from there, because they're too far away.
Actually, I could probably log in on my mobile and see it from here, and then be able to type them. That's what I'll do.
Yeah.
I can put my iPad here and yeah. Cool.
Right. Okay, so from the University of Tasmania, it said in the 1930s, Tattersall was responsible for almost half of Tasmania's total state revenue, making it an economic linchpin for the state during the Great Depression. So that's pretty interesting little fact of note, isn't it? Now, foundation and early ownership. George Adams structured the original Tattersall's business so that the profits and shares with his employees' families, because he didn't have any, right? So it was quite interesting how they did that, though. I've got that here. Sorry, I just didn't bring that up on the screen. Oh, yes. Part of the revenue distribution too, under the licensing, obviously the proceeds went to prizes for the winner, the retailers' commissions, state taxes and government revenue, and community funding for good causes. Now in Queensland, they had to donate so much towards the Royal Children's Hospital each year.
Wow.
So there you go. Once they started in Queensland. So you'd have to go through all the different state agreements to find out exactly what happens in that situation.
Yeah. So do you know how long? So Martin and Helen met because he was going around looking for, like, he was knocking on doors looking for odd jobs and gardening stuff, and that's how he stumbled on Helen. So how lucky was that they both, she was a bit eccentric, a bit of a loner, lived with her elderly mother in the home, and they just lived. They got each other, and she happened to be like, what's the odds?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I suppose something had to go right for him at some point, didn't it?
It did. They did. Now let me just see what this one's called.
So, do you know how long it was when, like, after they first met until she died in 1992. How long that was? Because she basically gave him her entire estate. She willed it all to him.
Yes.
All of it. So
Okay.
she never had children.
We need to bring this one up.
Look. Yep. Woohoo! There you go.
Oh, I'll go that way.
Is Teresa still in the chat? Make yourself known, woman.
Okay. So this is an article that was in 2017 in the newspaper. So how an eccentric heiress in Australia's most notorious mass killer forged an unlikely friendship. So it's quite an interesting little article. So an eccentric heiress, a house full of animals, and Australia's most notorious mass murderer before he became Martin Bryant inherited a fortune. Before he became a killer, he inherited this fortune. Okay. The warning signs were clear. And now, here we go.
The warning signs were clear, righto.
Yeah, this is what they're saying, A psychiatrist reported Martin Bryant, the perpetrator of the massacre, darkly noted upon leaving high school he couldn't read or write, does a bit of gardening and watches TV. Only his parents' efforts prevent further deterioration. Could be schizophrenic and parents face a bleak future with him.
He was
the observation, no, he wasn't. So this is just what the media is saying. But some of the things are, not that far off. So he couldn't read social cues. Like we knew that from his responses from the ex-girlfriends that he did actually have. That he didn't get it, He would cut down his neighbours' trees without questioning. They said he tortured small animals. That was BS. No. He did not do that. He had an IQ of estimated 64, which is lower than 90% of 11-year-olds. And he was placed on a disability pension because that is one of the requirements. If you have an IQ below 70, you can automatically go on disability pension and not
maybe I should have been done.
Maybe, yeah. But there's a part of Bryant's life that is often overlooked. The deep-seated bond he shared with a reclusive middle-aged woman he met when he was just a teenager. He was 19.
Yeah, but they make this out to be, him to be cruel.
Oh, it's nothing sexual. Oh, yeah, cruel to animals. Yeah, no, it's bullshit.
But one of the reasons that they got along so well was because of their love for animals. Like she was a hoarder. She had 40-odd cats and,
and it got worse than that once they bought the farm.
It was horrific.
It was. I might just zoom this in a bit so that you can actually read that.
Oh.
Yeah, it was, pretty woeful. And just get rid of Albanese. We
They
don't
have
want
to-
to see him.
Did they have to evacuate that house at one point because of the bill?
They did. They were kicked out because the council did, yeah. Well, not kicked out. They just, had to clean it up. Yeah. So when he was 19, he launched a little lawn mowing service around Newtown, that's one of the original suburbs of Hobart. I actually did a bit of research on that because it's hard to work out, like, the property of where she lived with all these cats and dogs. Because it was... Sorry?
Is there a decent bit of land?
Oh, look, it was a number of blocks altogether at first, and they were subdivided over the years. But it's still a pretty decent-sized bit of land, yeah.
Have you got a picture of it?
Yeah.
Would you want me to grab
it? Can I present another one on here?
Oh, sorry.
No, I haven't got to stop the other one. I've got to stop this one before I can show that one. So we'll go through this, So, what are you laughing at?
No.
So he was 19, and while canvassing the neighbourhood for new customers, he met a 54-year-old woman with an unkempt yard and money to burn. This would be the only lasting Bryant. That's the paper saying it, not Martin. No, he offered to do some of it for free. Yeah.
Why can't I have money to burn?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Helen Mary Elizabeth Harvey was the heiress to the Tattersall's gambling fortune who quit a job with the Tasmanian Railways before turning 30. So she had a bit of an admin job. spending the following decades with her mother in a sprawling mansion as they both mourned the passing of Helen's father in 1961. And he wasn't very old. He was 50-something years old when he died. Yeah.
What did he die of?
No idea, to tell you the truth. I didn't really look at that. Okay,
It might be on one of
this
those things that I linked to you.
Oh, right, okay. So Helen and her mother Hilza were long-term recluses. By the time they met Bryant, who randomly knocked at the door of the mansion one day after noting the neglected state of the house and yard, there it is, they're a bit neglected, Helen Harvey agreed to provide Bryant with yard work, and the pair quickly became inseparable. So, but it wasn't a sexual relationship, it was just a friendship, yeah. And this Paul Mullen, who did that report, which I've got a copy of that, he describes Miss Harvey as being his only real friend when Paul Mullen spoke to him. He said from the outset that they got on well together and it was not a sexual relationship. By the time she met Bryant, Helen Harvey's mental state had deteriorated over the years of isolation. She kept roughly 40 cats scratching inside a large garage with 14 dogs enjoying the run of the house. Hilza, her mother, was sleeping downstairs in the kitchen among piles of filth. She had a broken hip, which went undiagnosed for 2 years.
Yep.
While they both had infected leg ulcers, Bryant helped around the house to the extent he was able, but seemed more interested in fostering his close bond to Helen. An anonymous person reported Helen and Hilza to the health authorities in June 1990, and Hilza was then placed in permanent care, dying by the end of July.
Didn't she sleep in a...
She slept in a chair, yeah, and she was just down in the kitchen. She couldn't get up the stairs or anything like that, yeah.
Yeah. For 2 years.
So for 2 years, she had that broken hip. Yeah. And then within 2 months of being put into care, she was dead.
Died.
Hilza, yeah. So after authorities swooped, a clean-up order was placed on the mansion. Martin Bryant dutifully spent 3 months getting the place up to code with the aid of his long-suffering father, who took long service leave to help his son. The entire house was cleaned. Most of Helen's belongings were tossed away. And by the time she was home, because she hoarded heaps of crap. And Hilza, because she went to hospital too because of all the ulcers and, that she had on her legs. By the time she was home, Hilza had passed and she was enjoying the company of her new housemate, Martin, and spending her millions more freely because obviously her mother's percentage then went to her. Yes. So Brian seemed to have been good for Helen, forcing her out of the house most days on numerous shopping trips where the pair would blow Helen's inheritance on needless expenses. She bought 50 different cars over the years. Hey?
I think from memory, they bought a new car every week.
Well, that was, if he was 1990, 6 years, I wouldn't have been every week if she had over 50. But every few weeks, yeah, every couple months. So they went out and bought 50 different cars over the years and would treat herself and Bryant to lavish afternoon lunches on most days. Despite the money, Bryant stayed on his disability pension and as such, because they weren't a couple, was required to undergo regular assessments. One such assessment was seemingly ignored at the time despite the strong wording, saying his father protects him from any occasion which might upset him as he continually threatens violence. Martin tells me he would like to go around shooting people. It would be unsafe to allow Martin out of his parents' control. I don't believe that. Whoever did that assessment, I don't believe that.
No.
Because he was out of his father's control for a fair while. You know what I mean? Like, he was out doing his gardening jobs and,
Well, his father committed suicide too, so...
Well, yeah, so they say. Yeah. So then... nevertheless, Bryant and Harvey soon outgrew their mansion lifestyle, reportedly due to the RSPC's insistence that they not keep pets in the house anymore. And also, too, there's restrictions with council on how many pets you can have and all that. No doubt they weren't registered. So they bought a dilapidated farm property in Copping about 40 kilometres outside of Port Arthur and stocked up on pets. Helen kept the mansion in Hobart and the cars. And by the end of 1991... she'd filed a will leaving everything to my friend Martin Bryant for his own absolute use and benefit. So
How old was he in 1991?
Yeah, the will was made
How
then.
How old was he?
Jesus, so he was born in 67, so at 70, 24.
So that's
He was
5 years
24.
they know each other.
Yes, they'd known each other for 5 years by that stage in 1991. So all up, they knew each other.
6 years.
6 years, yeah, because she died in 1992.
Yeah.
So farm life seemed to be making Bryant's behaviour more erratic without the immediate influence of his parents. Not saying his mother had any influence over him at all.
No.
He retreated further into his own fantasy world, carrying an air rifle around all the time. I mean, it's like not going to hurt anybody. My brother shot my sister with a slug gun. Yeah, and he wasn't shooting at tourists. Yeah, that is all rubbish. Yeah. Harvey often matched his eccentricities, leaving her car parked around town with miniature ponies, dogs, and cats sharing space in the grand back seat while she wandered around the township on shopping sprees. Her love of cars would prove a major stumbling block in their relationship, with Bryant, despite expressing a fear of getting his license, often grabbing the steering wheel from her to take over mid-trip. The impulsive behaviour had resulted in two prior crashes,
Really?
and with his diminished intelligence, it is unclear whether he knew the weight of what he was doing.
So
in
how does that
October,
that?
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
So in October 1992, Helen Harvey's unlikely relationship with Martin Bryant finally proved fatal. The pair were driving home after a day shopping with 3 of their dogs in the back of the car when they swerved across the double yellow lines towards the Ford sedan. Yeah, I believe that. There's speculation that Bryant had grabbed the wheel again. I don't believe that.
No.
Harvey's neck was broken with the impact. She died instantly, along with 2 of the dogs. There was no investigation into her death, and no one was ever charged. Martin was devastated. He was devastated.
He broke his neck as well. He was in hospital for months.
That's right, yeah. They say he was now a multi-millionaire. I don't believe that. Inheriting her house, fortune, and a place in her grave. Because she also had bought a plot in her grave as well for him.
Ah.
So that will happen later on. See how there's room there on the thing for more names? His is to go there. Yeah. Get past all that ad shit. Oh, no, that's it on that one. Oh. Yeah, so... Oh, no, there's more. He did have a broken neck.
Gravestones as well, the mothers and hers.
Yeah, that's it. That's the mothers and the grandparents, isn't it? Yeah, that's all there is on that one.
Take it down?
Yep, you can take that one down. Now, according to multiple reputable reports, the inheritance that Bryant received, including assets, property, and cash, was worth about $570,000, not millions. Right?
That's what
the inheritance. Yeah, that's what the newspapers and that were saying, and because of the tax stuff, right? So, the 29-hectare farm in Copping, which I don't have an address for, haven't really been able to find that. The large home on 30 Clare Street, which we can put that up now if you like. Yeah, that one's Google Earth. You kind of can't see it anymore from the road. Oh, and some really interesting stuff that it makes sense that this is the property because a lot of yes, that's the right house, and it is 30 Clare Street. But when you go and do that picture was the right one. I've got a few. That's okay. Yeah. No, that was the old one that I just finished reading. Okay, so what I did is I also did a real estate search on 30 Clare Street, and let's just put that one up for a sec. It's only little. Don't shut that again. That one. Yep. That's it. We'll put that one up. So this is what you can see from the road. Lots of trees. and a driveway. This is the driveway up here. 5-bedroom house, 30 Clare Street. And as you'll see here, I'll just zoom in a bit so you can read that a little bit better. And bring that out a bit. There we go. Yeah, so that's all you can see from just your normal Google Maps, right? Go away. Oh, I'm clicking that on the wrong screen again. Go away. Okay, so this is what it's worth today. All right. Yeah. Last updated 6th of December. So the estimated value now is between $1 and $1.1 million. Because houses in Tasmania really aren't worth that much. A lot of people have lost money on houses in Tasmania. I know a few people that bought rental properties there. But this what makes me feel that it is correct, because it was built in 1939. And we've got the lot plan number now, so we can actually go pay for a proper search. But anyway, last sold. See this one? Sold 13th of March 1997. So Martin inherited in 1996. Mm-hmm. And it was sold in 1997 for $200,000.
Oh, that's it.
That's it. That's it. So, and it looks like it is been refurbished since then. Oh, that was just going over the median values and what houses have been sold for locally. Now let's go and have a look at Google Earth.
Oh, look at you go.
Yeah. Okay, so that's got that one. So we'll just take this one down. And we shall do Google Earth.
Oh, I can take you off.
Okay, here we go. Bring this one up.
Is it that one?
I can take them down. I just can't bring them up. Yeah. Okay. So this here is the property. That is 30 Clare Street. I'll just zoom in on a bit to make that clearer again. Now, what I was saying before about what you could find on this information, it's got the numbers on it. Where's the numbers gone? Damn, it had all the numbers of the other houses on it. Yeah. Okay. So this is it here, right? So here's that's where all the trees are. You see at the front, right? And then this is the driveway. And this is the garage back here. So it's still got the same shape as the original house, but I think it's had a new roof. You can actually, with this, go back through the years. Sorry?
Can we zoom in a little bit?
Oh, yeah, you can do that here, can't you? There.
So is it the green?
So that's there. That's it there. So it's this house. And this is the driveway. And that's the garage down here. Yes, with the green roof. Yes, 100% correct. But let's just zoom back out a little bit. See those numbers? Let's go back in. I want those
big
numbers.
Block.
Yeah, it's I believe it's just under an acre.
Set back off the road. Heaps.
Yeah. I want to zoom in, but not quite that much. What is it? It's control. Z is out. What's control? Oh, I know. Control plus and minus, isn't it? To zoom in and out, but less. Like, because if I press this, it zooms in. It zooms out too far. I mean, it zooms there. That's what I want. See these numbers here? 15, 13A, right?
Of the lot numbers.
Yeah, house numbers in a different street, right? Mm-hmm. And 13. So these were all originally part of this house.
Oh.
When it was first, that was part of the whole thing. So all around here, all around here.
And they subdivided?
Yes, they must have at some time.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he owned that parcel of land. And that's why it was so hard to find what was the right address, because it was giving these numbers, the 13 and the 13A and 15 as the numbers. So they were totally different street. And I go, what the?
Yeah.
But then you'd go to the land titles and they were never under that name. You know what I mean? It was really weird. So, yeah, I'd say they developed that, as a number of blocks, subdivided it and developed it. And they've obviously had the roof redone because it was built in 1939. And I think it was this, see how that's shingles and bricks kind of thing there?
Yeah.
On top of the garage? I think it was more like that.
So she died in 1992, and she willed all of her estate to Martin, which
correct.
What you think that the 570,000 is an accurate representation?
I do.
All right. So she died in 92, so he received that inheritance.
Yes, that's correct. So he received that $200,000. Well, it was sold after the 29-hectare farm in Copping, which wasn't worth a hell of a lot either. You know what I mean? It's Tasmania.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and her other personal assets, cash and entitlements. Okay.
But so what happened to that when?
Yeah. Plus her income from the Tattersall's related investments and assets she held. But
yes, that wasn't included, was it? In the media stuff.
Excuse me. Some online claims and conspiracy videos suggest figures like $29 million related to shares or inheritance, but those figures are not supported by credible news or historical sources. They appear to be speculative or exaggerated online commentary and should be treated as unverified. The most widely reported and verifiable figure from what they can have is Helen. What he actually directly inherited from Helen's estate was approximately $570,000.
Yeah,
being the $200,000 for that house, a bit of cash, a bit of jewelry, and the money from the farm, right? The reason being, right, is because relationship to Tattersall's. Member of one of the Tattersall's beneficiaries' families, sometimes referred to in the media as the Tattersall's heiress. She was not a controlling shareholder of Tattersall's in her own right. Tattersall's wealth for families like Harvey's was not held as ordinary shares. So there you go. The Tattersall's beneficiary system, right? Profits were distributed via family trusts, life interests, and income entitlements. Many beneficiaries did, because there was 2,500 beneficiaries, right?
Yeah.
Did not own transferable shares. So if the company went public, they're gone. They could keep them, or that was it. They're gone.
So when she died, they lost them.
He could not receive income, but could not sell or assign the underlying interest. Could receive income, right? Some of the beneficiaries that were in the family, right? What she actually owned and inherited, right, is the residential property at Clare Street, the rural land, the cash and bank deposits, personal assets, income-producing interest, likely via trust distributions. Now, trust distributions are, what are they called? Voluntary. By the trustee, the trust decides how much trust distribution that the beneficiaries will get each year. So you can decide, oh no, this beneficiary works full time, it's not tax effective to give her any distribution this year, so we won't.
He also got a lump sum of his father's estate too.
He got $250,000. That's right. Let's back here for that.
And his father, he committed suicide, I think, in 1994. Is that right?
After 93. After inheriting Harvey's estate, Bryant later also inherited about $250,000 from his father's superannuation. Yeah. His mother got to keep the house. So he didn't get the house. He just got the super. So it was about $250,000. that he got from his father. So, you know, you're talking just under $1 million. I mean, still back in that time, that was a lot of money, you know. So what she did not hold was a controlling stake in Tattersall's. What she did not hold was freely transferable shares worth millions. She did not. She only had an income. She did not hold any interest that could later convert into post-2005 ASX shares.
What about her mother's shares? Did she not inherit them?
Yeah. But the problem with this, and why it happened like this, right, was in the will, hers weren't legally transferable.
Okay. So they
Because
revert back
to the family trust and whatever, yeah. So basically he wasn't an heir because he wasn't family.
Yeah, okay. There's a clause.
Okay. Yeah. So I believe he also lost the income, the lifetime income status as well, because of their legal structure prevented beneficiaries from passing on core interest to non-family members.
Okay.
So if they weren't family, they couldn't inherit it no matter what she tried to do.
They ensured that it would stay within the family.
Correct. Until,
which is fair enough, yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
my concern is that, like, he was deemed in 94, I think, that incapable of managing his finances. So it was taken over by the state trustees. And that that account with the state trustees,
yes,
when he was convicted, was supposed to go to the victims of crime. And
I believe at one stage there was a check and there was 1.3 million in there with interest and everything.
But that's nothing what he was given.
So to prove that these things are false, right? Well, Tattersall's wasn't publicly traded in 92, so she didn't own publicly traded shares. She didn't own a sellable equity. Non-family members could not inherit beneficiary status. And no evidence exists in probate court filings, tax proceedings, or criminal asset investigations that show Bryant holding any tax stuff.
Yeah, no, I wasn't actually talking about the Tattersall. I was talking about his, like, the 570,000.
Yeah, that's right. It was there. So yeah, hers ended with her death. The tax connection ended with her death.
Yeah.
Because she didn't ever have any children. So,
I suppose when you're talking about 35 losses of lives plus how many injured, 570 really doesn't go very far, does it?
570,000. Yeah, no. Yeah. But by the time that it got in the fund, there was 1.3 million, I believe. Now let's go and.
Does it tell you how it was distributed from that fund? Like, is that public?
That's the interesting thing.
So you got in there, did you?
It's to do with the public trustees. You can't get the information.
Oh.
That's the problem. I'm just closing a few of these that I've already put up. Oh, that's the history of Newtown.
Shouldn't they have to be held accountable? Like, shouldn't they be
transparent? Oh, shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. They should be.
When it comes to the victims of crime.
Yeah, but they're saying that it hasn't even been distributed, let alone accounted for. It's really weird.
I thought you could get hold of state trustee stuff.
After so many years.
How about 30?
No, it's like you can't even get. I've only just been able to get. Oh, it could be that. Yeah, I'm not sure. It depends from state to state, you know, like Oh, and to get all the documents, I'll get this. I got ChatGPT to go and, okay, we know where to get all this stuff, and here's their dates of birth and dates of death and blah, blah, blah for the parents and
You have to
for
pay for it, though.
Helen. And, yeah, about $600 all up it'll cost.
Yep.
To get everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we do know now that, yeah, it died with her. Any inheritance from Tats died with her, so we don't really need any of that anyway now. What was that one that I had up?
So I'll just put this in perspective, okay? So this Martin Bryant, he has IQ of 66. He is like the mental capacity of a 10-year-old. He is illiterate,
Yes.
cannot read or write. He
Correct.
is a millionaire who flaunts his wealth, and he what else did I say?
They went on a lot of trips and that kind of thing too.
Yeah, overseas and all sorts of stuff. He had a girlfriend. He was a millionaire. Where the fuck does a motive come in for a start? And
yeah, exactly. Well, they're saying the motive was because of all this money that he was going to get, but I mean, okay, got a couple of I don't think he was motivated by money. I don't think he was motivated.
I'm going to be a millionaire. Let's go and shoot up Port Arthur. Like, what the crock?
Yeah, Teresa, owning property in Australia for a non-homeowner, you can get full disability payments with assets of up to about $579,000. With a homeowner, excluding the house you live in, you can still have up to around $400,000 worth of assets to get your full disability payments. So there you go. We're maybe a bit more generous.
Oh, absolutely. I think we are. It depends if you're
I think. Yeah, that's right. It's a little bit different. Yeah. The next door neighbour reckons Mr. Featherstone reckons that he killed Helen by pulling on the steering wheel.
Yeah,
I don't.
Well,
he's got no proof of that. He's not got no proof of that. Yeah.
The issue he had too was that he didn't understand consequences to actions either. He couldn't read the room. Like, he used to jump on the backs of kids just to join the conversation, and he was very just awkward. He got a lot of little things. There was one interview that his mother Carlene did with not Mike Willis, it was someone else. Anyway, he asked her about his behaviour as a child, and she said, he was very cruel. And he asked her to give an example. And her example was that, because he's got a younger sister, Lindy.
Correct.
Apparently, when she was having friends over, she would have friends over, and then, they'd go home and then they would ring her. He would answer the phone and tell them not to ring. It was annoying. And so she deemed that as very nasty. Like, are you fucking for real? Are you shitting me? He was a regular teenage boy, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other funny thing that the trustees of Tats, just before it went public, so William G. Adams, who graduated as an architect from Sydney University in 1974, before learning the ropes of Tattersall from the ground up. So he was a trustee. The other trustees are former senior Westpac banker and current chairman Ray Hornsby, businessman and Melbourne Cricket Club president. That's who he is, David Jones. Thinking of David Jones, we know David Jones' stores, don't we? And Melbourne law and former Carlton footballer Peter Kerr. They were paid over $1 million a year to be just on the board of directors. I can tell you that changed.
They were getting paid to be on the board of directors.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you get paid if you're on the NHS?
The what?
Do you get paid like that if you're a member of the NHS?
Who's the NHS? National
American.
I don't know, they were on the board of the Tattersalls.
No, I'm just trying to work. Sorry, don't worry about me. I have to be honest. I cannot concentrate on Martin Bryant at the moment.
Oh, okay, why not?
County. And actually, what I remember,
okay.
Brandy is in court today with regards to her grandchildren. So,
okay. I hope she goes well.
Her big hugs and big fingers crossed. Hopefully something.
Wow, yeah.
Poor bugger. 3 court cases they've had this week.
Wow. And they're not taking lawyers.
No. They were just sort of like they were hearings. Well, the first 2 are hearings, and Brandy and her daughter do have an attorney, but talking to her about it, I said to her, "How do you know that they're not part of the whole syndicate thing?" And she said, "You don't." So it's pot luck, really. Sometimes you're probably better off representing yourself. There's slim pickings in there.
Yeah, interesting. Some of the professional advisors that Tats used before they went public and what payoffs they got. Prime Minister Malcolm Fraser.
Who was an advisor?
He was a professional advisor they had used. Back in Victoria, Tattersalls worked both sides of the political street when the Liberals were in power. Yeah. When the Liberals were in power, it employed a former senior Kennett advisor, Alistair Drysdale. Now that Labor was in office, it was advised by former Kane and Kerner Government Minister David White. So, like, all these people that were in Parliament, they are our representatives. The former editor of the Age newspaper, he's an external advisor, and Tattersall's is a major sponsor of the Melbourne Press Club. Amazing, that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Melbourne's not that far removed from Fletcher County then?
Yeah, it was a bit, yeah. But then a circular to beneficiaries dated just before the float to the board said it would comprise 8 directors, including the managing director, Duncan Fisher. The 7 non-executive directors would include 4 of the present trustees, plus some new appointees. The circular said the remuneration of the directors would be capped at $120,000 per year, while the chairman's would not exceed $250,000 a year. So these are the things that weren't, known was how much the board of directors and that were getting because they were private companies. The crash-strapped Kerner government, the Labor government in Victoria, introduced the pokies to Victoria and issued the licenses to Tats and Tabcorp for free. So there you go.
I remember back in the day, it was back in the 80s, I think, or early 90s, before the pokies were actually
allowed.
Legal.
Yeah.
They used to do bus tours up to the New South Wales border where you could play pokies.
Correct. So Queenslanders used to do it down to Coolangatta, yeah. Bus tours down to the pokies, yeah.
My grandparents, and they'd go and drive across the border where it was legal and play pokies all day, and then drive back again in the bus.
Yeah. That was the thing, yeah. No, they did that in Queensland too. Drove down to the border at Coolangatta, Tweed, Coolan. Yeah. So that's basically, it does cover where the money went and why he didn't have millions and millions of dollars. The public trustees is the next bit, but what time is it now? We've been going 2 hours, have we?
Have we?
We just, yeah. It's just under, isn't it?
What were you going to go into the public trustees?
Yeah, just.
Is there much on it, or?
Yeah, there is a little bit.
Well, if it's part of it, what do I do with my fucking phone? Lost it.
And also, did you read in the Examiner the Martin Bryant story? In that,
No.
it's a 3-part thing. I'll put it up. Like, there's 3 different pages for it. What one is it? The Martin Bryant story with an E next to it. That's it. Yep, bring that one up.
Oh. Put my glasses back on.
That
That one?
Yeah, that's it. I'll just zoom in.
Is that a new comment?
So this was done in 2012. Oh, you also can't own a lot of property. Yeah, I already answered that a little bit ago about, yeah, so you also can't own a lot of property here and get your full disability payments. And that's why I was saying what the numbers were roughly here in Australia to get disability a little bit ago.
Mm-hmm.
So because your own home is exempt from the assets test in Australia, as long as it's under 2 acres. Yeah. Okay, so there's little Martin and his little sister. Lovely. And there's Martin as a baby. And there's Martin pictured shortly here just before. Yeah. So this is a 3-part story. 2 days before my actual birthday he was born. With no paragraphs or anything. That's great. Yeah, the mother had difficulties bonding with the child, evidently. But anyway, that was when she was talking about leaving him on their house with the toys and the harness so he wouldn't go run across the road.
She couldn't control him, and she didn't know. They didn't educate. Like back then, ADHD wasn't something that was commonly known.
No, it wasn't. Yeah.
No. And so she just didn't know how to cope with this hyperactive child. And there was no one that was teaching her the skills as a parent to do that. And she was also battling with Morris, her husband, because they had very different parenting styles. So he was a lot more relaxed with Martin, and she was very uptight because as you know, if you're the one stuck at home with 2 kids, you can go a little bit stir crazy sometimes because they're there in your face 24 hours a day. Whereas the husband,
that's right,
is away and gets that time away, so they appreciate the company and the time they spend with the children better because they're not. Do you know what I mean? They're not. By the end of 18 hours, your nerves are a little bit frayed. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
And I don't think that Carleen is. I think she's probably a sheep short in the top paddock as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, just saying.
Yeah. Oh, look, I don't think all the marbles dropped in the right holes either. Yeah.
Correct. Which I don't believe has ever been diagnosed. But her comprehension of the mental health stuff that explained to her about Martin, she didn't seem to grasp it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Either went to the nth degree, but didn't fully think, okay, well, this is what this is causing. How do we fix that? Or how do we treat that? Or how do we, encourage alternate behaviour type?
Oh, look, back in those days, they put him on Prozac or something and put him in a mental home, didn't they? Yeah. I know there was a girl at my school, I remember in 2nd class or 3rd class, her name was Karen, and I remember she was freaking out in class, and I remember the teacher carrying her out over her shoulder and not hurting her or anything, but obviously she was disrupting the whole class. She was a very strange girl. She picked her up, put her over her shoulder and carried. She was biting and kicking and screaming the teacher all the way because she just had she was fine 1 minute and then the next minute she was just like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Something had just triggered her, and and the teacher was carrying her to the clinic, the school clinic, to call her parents to bring her because But they just dosed her up on medication every day. I actually became a little bit of a friend with her, and she told me, "Oh, Mum makes me take these pills every morning." And of a morning she was okay, but by the afternoon, yeah, it hit her, and she'd freak out sometimes so bad, yeah, and kick and bite and scream at the teachers. And I mean, it was Mrs. Rogers. She'd never hurt a fly, and yeah, it was.
Well, Martin was found
yeah.
like, he'd go missing and be found on the next door neighbour's chicken coop. He could have fallen over and broken his arm. And then the last straw for Colleen was he wandered down to a railway line. But then, how long was he unsupervised?
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, gosh, with me with the babies here on Monday, like little Riley, I mean, she's just crawling. And I mean, I moved all the cat food up the other end of the bloody room, and within 2 minutes she's up there, just about got a hand in the cat food bowl, like they're so quick, you just can't.
How the hell does he get down the front porch and to a railway line without her noticing?
Yeah, exactly right. What was she doing, But I actually think that's becoming more these days because people are on their phones too often and don't watch their kids. I saw one of those ones, the prams, because all prams have got safety straps on them now. I noticed the twin pram I bought the other day for the girls got safety strap. I mean, when we had prams, they didn't. Because of at the railway stations, some of the platforms are sloped, and people will be standing there just holding on the pram on the phone or something and lose concentration and maybe let go of the pram for a second. Next thing you know, the pram's on the railway tracks off the platform, So I think, sometimes that does happen more these days with people not concentrating because they're on the phones.
Mm. And they tend to use an iPad or something or the phone as a babysitter for the kids.
Oh, definitely, 100%, yeah. I remember I didn't use it as a full babysitter for Millie, but it was one of the first iPads. It was engraved and everything with my name. Scott got it for me. And it had one of those magnetic closing flaps, the proper Apple one. Millie had ripped the bloody thing off and thrown the iPad out the other way. I was, oh my God. It was so funny. So basically with the public trustees, that's gone great. Yeah, so there's 3 parts to this
was Helen
Bryant story.
Public trustees as well?
No.
No?
No, not at all. The main reason the public trustees were brought into it was because one of Martin's IQ, and the other one was because his father actually made his will with the public trustees instead of doing it himself, going to a lawyer. And that's why that will always happen, yeah. So, yeah, this 3-page article, it just goes through again, what happened throughout his life, basically, but very summarised. It's 3 small article, 3 pages, and the link's there at the top of them.
Well, this is episode 5 of our 10-part deep dive series, so there's still, we haven't even gotten to the massacre yet.
Massacre, yeah, that's right.
We're still doing that.
Yeah. And, people are saying, as I said, that he had motive because he was going to inherit all her money. We can take that one down.
He already had that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. No, but to kill her in the car.
No.
And I don't believe that. She was the only real friend he ever had, that actually gave him the time of day and... Yeah.
And is there any police reports or any reports noted anywhere of this behaviour being of concern, like him yanking on the steering wheel? Like
there was reports of that before. The neighbour had definitely said something about that. Yeah. No, not police reports, because I just crashes. Nobody was hurt, so they don't do police reports. But evidently she had told her neighbour, Mr. Featherstone, that had happened, but that just crashed into a ditch or off the side of the road or something like that. Yeah.
So the neighbour came up after she died.
Yeah, You know,
A
I
lot
didn't
of
say anything
neighbours
about it
that came up
beforehand.
A lot of neighbours that came up after Martin was incarcerated and had all these tales about him firing on driving cars, driving
Yeah,
cars.
it's rubbish. It's rubbish.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe it at all. I honestly think that the reason that he may have, if he did this, right, if he did it, he'd just come back from overseas with his girlfriend Petra,
Mm-hmm.
and they became distant after that.
Pardon?
Hey? And they became distanced after that. So I think maybe, this is my second friend and now she's abandoning me or something. Yeah.
Well, I remember an interview that Petra did, and she basically was telling the story that he'd taken her out on a date and he sat there and pulled out a newspaper and imitated someone who was reading it because she knew damn well he couldn't read it. He was pretending to. But yet he was able to produce a fantastically neat and tidy confession and a fairly well-scaled map with
I can't even run that neat.
Where everyone was shot, the direction of the bullets that they went, what position he was standing in, where the exit doors were, the whole which one went first right through to that. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Did you know that in 1996, Victoria received a licence fee of $313 million from Tats?
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? Just a lot of money, isn't it?
Yeah. Did you know that the NDIS spent $46 million last year fighting people that were disabled from not accessing their services?
And it would have cost them less just to pay them.
Yep. Not getting in.
Yeah, and the map, Teresa, you're 100% right. That map, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't pull them up. There is no way. Yeah, no way.
Did you know that Paul Mullins, this is confusing to me. Like, I've chosen these two cases to focus on. One is 30 years old in Tasmania, Australia, completely world away. The other is the sheriff judge in Kentucky. There are so many similarities in both of them. Like, there's a Mullins.
This is a psychiatrist. Is the Mullins in this one? Yeah.
And there is MK Ultra. Now, I'd never come across MK Ultra before Martin Bryant, ever.
I'd heard the name somewhere.
I'd never heard of it. And now it's come out in Fletcher County, Kentucky. Like, just yeah. But keep your eyes peeled, ladies and gents, because shit's going down. There's things are happening.
Oh, yes, that does sound like after what you told me today.
Yeah. So, girls Taya and Brandy are doing a regular segment every Sunday evening now with me at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and they're going to do updates on what's going on, what's happened, what's changed. Give us an update on how they're going with court cases, and I'm actually going to start up a GoFundMe as well, because I noticed last night when the girls were streaming, the poor buggers, like Brandy's doing it on her mobile, and Taya has an old laptop that doesn't have enough power to actually allow her to
it wasn't that good. It wasn't that good, yeah.
You've got just the two of you on, but when you're at a screen share, the graphics and the drain on the CPU is huge. And if you don't have the power to do that, you're dropping out all the time. So I thought I might just start up they're not that expensive, but if we can start up a GoFundMe and get them they need to have something proper to actually get their word out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to be able to hear them to be able to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. So yeah, I'll be putting that up with the next stream on Sunday.
Cool.
And I'm thinking about the next 2 episodes of the Hello Mister, the mushroom murder documentary with Erin.
Oh yeah, because that's I haven't watched the first one yet. Yeah.
Oh, haven't you?
No, I must go watch that.
Because it's on Stan and I've got that as a subscription. I can't.
Oh, so have I. Yeah.
I can't stream it live, but I can certainly do a backstage where we can all get together. So I can create a link on the Discord server and do a post if anyone wants to join. And I will.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Stage, yeah. Yep. I'll do that tomorrow. Depends what time I wake up. 3 days this week, my phone has not. The alarm's not gone off.
Oh, again. But there's about 20 things they've said online on the Apple support site on what you can do.
Can you go back from that update? Because it was from that update that it.
Oh, look, evidently every so often there is an update will do this, yes.
Yeah. Often you can go back on a computer to a point in time when it was working.
Oh, I also have the transcript of the court too, if you wanted that for one of your next ones.
The court
the court proceedings when he pleaded guilty.
Oh yeah, the sentencing, yeah. It starts at page 50. You notice that?
No.
You go right to the top of the page where you can see where it's been scanned in.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on the WASP files. There's something about.
Yeah. You can't get before page 50. It's sealed.
Oh no, about what I'm saying about the public trustees.
I
can't find it now. The roles of victims of crime in the criminal trial process.
So I think the next episode is. I think we're up to the trial. The Port Arthur incident. So I'm going to separate it into 2 bits. So I'm going to do the cafe, and then the next one the siege at Brain Dead Seascape.
Seascape.
Yeah. Because there's something not right there.
Oh, we all know that, 10 years earlier, Barry Unsworth, New South Wales Premier, because 10 years earlier, the government had tried for a ban on semi-automatic rifles, the gun laws to be introduced, and Tasmania was the only state that disagreed, of course. Good old
And what was the comment that was made? It would take a massacre in Tasmania
for them to get these laws passed. Yes.
That was actually
not good.
3 times, I think.
Yes.
Times.
Now the here it is here. That's just the guidelines of the distribution.
I wonder if I can say anything about what the girls did today. It's going to be public knowledge eventually anyway, isn't it?
Well, very shortly, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I should let them do it.
Yeah. Probably a good idea.
Mm. I really want to hear from Brandy, though. What time is it?
Yeah, it's about the kids.
The US now?
Where's Kentucky, left or right?
Left. So they're 4 hours. So, sorry, 13.
Well, I've got my clock set up.
So at
My
our
phone.
midnight, it's 8 a.m. there.
So it's on the Las Vegas side? Yeah, 8 a.m. Yeah.
So it's what?
Because I've got
now?
New York, Las Vegas, Los Angeles,
What time is it
Doha,
here?
Houston. It is 3 a.m.
So it's 11 a.m.
That's on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Oh, so Kentucky's on the East Coast, is it?
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Under
Yeah, so it's 11 a.m.
Under Virginia, under Connecticut, under lower.
Oh, right. Yep. Cool. Yep. Just not that very good at...
Funny how most of our subs are over that side.
Yeah, but see,
South
people
Carolina,
over that side,
Florida.
maybe they haven't got... Yeah, there's a few... I can't find that one I had on the compensation fund. Okay.
What was it?
On how much was in the compensation fund and what's happened to it. Yeah, there will be no gun laws in Australia unless there's a massacre in Tasmania. John Howard got his gun laws. Yeah. It's disgusting. But anyway, we have our gun laws. But many guns were not handed in. You actually got good money for them. A lot of people
You know the story behind the AR-15 that was used in the massacres? So that actually came from, it belonged to a farmer in Yea, which is about, an hour here, out east into the bush from here, where I am.
Yeah.
My grandparents used to have a holiday house up there, and we would go there every year for Christmas. It's a beautiful, like a foresty area almost, but with big gum trees and ferneries, and gorgeous place. So I've actually got an uncle that lives there now. So they had a farmer there, and he owned the AR-15, and there was, I think, not an amnesty, but there was something before the big one that came in where they were requested to bring in their semi-automatics to be disposed of. And he gave it into the police station at Yea, and it went into the central collection, and it was an SOG, like one of our special ops.
Oh, yeah.
Police officers took a liking to it and took it home.
Okay.
Yep, confiscated it. Kept it for a few years, and then he sold it to a collector in Tasmania. And that's how it got out there. So it was Victoria Police who put the firearm in his hands, almost.
Well, wasn't it Australia that trained the pilots that did the 9/11 massacre? The 9/11.
Did they?
Yeah, I believe they came over here for pilot training. Yes. Which is not good. Yeah, I'll have to find that. But yeah, so we might go through also to just maybe put that on the list is the I just can't find where I put it. I know I transferred it over here, but I just can't find it. One of those. It's a bit late now. Where it says the public trustees, how much they had at one point in time, and see what happens.
Because he was getting like an allowance, wasn't he? Like they were distributing him an income every month. Is that right?
No, he wasn't entitled to it.
No, not when he was incarcerated, when he was out. Because they did that 3 years before.
Nope. Once she died, it was gone.
No, the 570.
Oh, the 570. Yeah, he did over 14 overseas trips.
Yeah, that's a terrible life.
Yeah.
It must have had a motive to go
And they reckon he was drinking a lot, and his drink of choice was Bailey's, which is not a bad choice, and Sam
He was
Booker
an
or something like that.
adult.
He was what?
He was an adult.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But that can, if you're depressed and stuff like that, yeah, it I guess
Was he?
can definitely.
Why would you be depressed when you're a millionaire and you're going around the
He
world?
wasn't a millionaire. He wasn't a millionaire. Yeah.
It could be worse.
There was also the Alana and Madeline Foundation too, which was
What's that?
the two little kids that were killed near the gate.
Oh,
at Port Arthur.
The
Alana and
what's the name? But starts with an M. Oh, it's in my.
The Alana and
Because
Madeline
he survived,
Foundation.
the husband survived, and the wife and the two.
Yes,
children.
his wife and 2 children got killed. That's correct. Yes.
Yep. Mikak.
Yeah.
Mikak family.
Yes, Nanette Mikak. Yes, and her daughters Alana and Madeline. Yeah. And but it focuses on protecting children from violence, bullying, and related harms.
Yeah, they're just the way they have portrayed. It's a big propaganda spin. They had to make it fit the narrative. They've interviewed, people that worked at the local media the newspaper there, and he's done interviews on TV and on radio and stuff. He turned up because it was all hands on deck. Yeah, they were called in because of the siege. That it was all hands on deck. Everyone come in and let's get this shit happening. They already had his photo and the headlines and everything mocked up, ready to go before he was even arrested.
Yeah, and that's ridiculous. I mean, yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah. So,
yeah, it's saying here,
and even if he did go to trial, how could he have a fair trial when the very first day the headlines are,
his photo in the paper.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Tasmania is a small colony, so it was one of the early colonial settlements from back in the 1800s. That Van Diemen's Land, it was called first.
It was, yeah. That's where they sent the really, really bad prisoners that came over on the boats. No, if you stole bread, you became Prime Minister of New South Wales. If you actually killed someone, then they sent you to Tasmania.
And that was a 3-month boat trip, wasn't it? And half of them didn't.
Yeah, way back then. Yeah. Now what is it? A ferry across with your car?
Ferry across the Mersey.
That's it. Because it's a pretty rough piece of water too.
Well, Port Arthur is right down the very bottom of it, and if you actually look at the terrain.
Oh, I actually looked where it was the other day.
Yeah,
it's
connected. It's like there is bridges and stuff that you've got to cross. So it was an ideal place to prevent any prisoners from escaping.
Yeah, I guess so. Be like, what's that one in New York that they escaped from? Alcatraz? It's in the water, isn't it?
Yeah. I was actually at Port Arthur in 1994 for my
2 years beforehand.
Yep. And I stayed
at an interesting place to go. I suppose, is that why you went for your honeymoon? Because it wasn't,
No, it was because it was cheap.
Oh, okay. I was going to say it wasn't very exciting, so you could do what you wanted to do,
We spent all our money on the wedding, so we booked a place to stay at the top at Launceston, and we were just going to we hired a car and we we're going to drive down the east coast to Port Arthur and catch the ferry back to from Hobart. So Port Arthur was one of the last stops that we had, and they have a hotel. Port Arthur's down a deep hill, and then it flattens out, and you can see all the ruins. Actually, I've got I have Lots. Oh. Yeah.
Oh my
Airport
gosh.
when I was there. And so from Port Arthur, you can do that's what Wendy Skur, the woman who was the first responder, the main witness that went around Australia, is dead now, basically telling everyone that it wasn't Martin Bryant. She was running the tours, the ferry out to the Isle of the Dead. And
Huh?
there is something to do with wasps because the initial...
Oh, that's why he calls it the wasp files.
Yes. The initial conspiracy theory was that he had said something to someone about going out to kill some wasps or something. Martin had said that to someone, and that had come out. And I think that's why Paul's called it, the wasp files. But yeah, they would do like on the hour, every hour, tours out to this Isle of the Dead. And that's how Wendy knew the exact time of the shooting, because she knows that the 1:30 ferry hadn't left yet. She was supposed to be on it. There you go. Little bit of fun fact.
So anyway, tonight we have learned that it looks like the $570,000 that he got, which is a lot of money, a lot of money, was true. He did not receive any income stream from Tats at all, or any shares. Helen didn't even have any shares. She only had a lifetime. She had a lifetime interest of income. And yes, it was a shit ton of money, but she sounds like she was spending it pretty well as well.
Oh, well, why wouldn't you?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't, even if I didn't like my mother, I wouldn't leave her living in that kind of filth with a broken hip or something for 2 years.
No, but it's not like she did anything different, you know?
But I think once she started her friendship with Martin, whereas before that, I think she was looking after her mother reasonably well. Well, not reasonably well, but, you know,
they were both
hell of a lot better than she was.
And that was normal for them. And it just
true, they were, yes.
It got out of hand.
But once she started hanging out with Martin, she was away from the house more often, you know. But with all that money, you'd hire a bloody cleaner or someone, wouldn't you? Like, really?
Yeah.
But anyway, I didn't.
Did she ever get diagnosed with any mental health issues, or? Because I know that she's always been explained, called a recluse and an eccentric, but
she never went to the doctor. She never went. So it's a bit hard to get diagnosed with something when you don't go to the doctor.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a bit like a man thing, I suppose.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, yep. What is it with that? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know how many men I had come through the ICU because they ignored a pain for months.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
And they'd end up having a massive heart attack and their vegetables.
Yeah.
Because they ignored it.
That's right. They just don't worry about it.
It's very sad.
So, yeah.
All right. That ends that chapter.
That does.
Next. Oh, I've got to get my mouse. So we've learned a couple of things. We've learned that Jodie can control the computer from her bed.
Yes.
So I really can have sleep streams now.
Yes.
Well,
that's pretty tricky. And Tanya's room's reset back up after someone else.
You're welcome.
And this new camera, see, it follows me. See, look.
Yeah. I'm going to bend you over, and I am going to smack your bottom. Bang. Red raw. Hang on, I've got to get my mouse now.
I like my new camera though, Joe. Look at this. I move and the background moves. It follows me. Look, see?
That's freaky.
Yeah. And my new green screen's really good too.
Hey?
The new green screen's really good. The new green screen?
Oh.
It's really good.
Shout out to the person that just gave us a super chat. This community is just the best. Love you all the different.
Thanks, Teresa. She loves my background. My little old game screen. And my little sign Jody bought me, the After the Facts one with the light. Oh, there's my coleslaw. Sorry, I better move that.
Coleslaw.
And my Mickey Mouse. Yeah, my coleslaw. My Mickey Mouses and my these Mickey Mouses are collector's items. They are hand painted.
I got one of them.
Yeah. It's not a toy. Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful. They're worth a bit of money. Mickey bought them all. See, recognise this one? What's this out of? What was the first Mickey Mouse movie? Fantasia!
It actually follows you. That's weird.
Yeah, that's the camera following me. Yeah.
That's freaky.
Pretty cool. That is freaky weird, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, everybody. Well, good lunchtime to you guys. And time for us to go to bed. I've got to meet the babies down at swimming lessons tomorrow at 11 o'clock. So I've got to get some sleep.
Lunchtime.
Fair enough. Well, then I'll go pick up that package. Well, yeah. What did he say? Oh, yeah. So I'll probably be about 12:30 when I go pick up that package. And I'll bring back your half of the package. Jodie and I have been going Harvey's and lots of things around Christmas. We went to the there's this fruit shop called the Big Watermelon.
I really need to go back. Bulk. I'm nearly out.
Well, some are. I bought mangoes.
I've got one left.
And nectarines, and we bought like a really big bag of avocados and went halves, bag of limes and went halves, bag of lemons and went halves. There's all these things, and we just went halves. And you're freaking watermelon. Oh my God, she bought a 13-kilo watermelon. I banged my finger, put it in the boot of the car. It's still got a bruise. It's classic.
Oh, there's worse things.
And she's eating cherries. I got a cherry. Well, it's actually an olive pither, but the same thing. I stand there and do them all, and then eat them all. You have oranges. Oh yeah, it's winter over there. You don't get all our yummy summer fruit now, do you? It's winter. We have nectarines and mangoes and peaches and yes, Jodie was dying over the plums.
The blood plums. My cherry tree was looking amazing.
Oh, I didn't go outside today when you were watering. No, I was too busy eating the dinner you gave me. That was lovely.
I never did it.
Well, you didn't do the watering.
I put the sprinkler on in one area and didn't move it. It's on a timer. I've just done that. I haven't done the rest of it, no.
Because it was hot today. What's it going to be tomorrow?
It's going to be hot.
Your taste buds are gone. Where have they gone, Teresa?
Just not well.
Oh, yeah. In people that had COVID, they said their taste buds disappeared. But didn't in mine.
All right.
Okay. Well, thanks for a fun night.
No worries. Thank you for joining us. That was good.
Okay.
It's been a while. Too long.
Yeah, it has. It's just been bad timing, hasn't it? A lot of the time, like.
Pull your finger out.
I tell you, this grandbaby lurgies from childcare. I remember when my kids were little, I used to get it, but it dropped straight down to my chest, you know. But Jodie's eating the cherries there.
I dropped one.
Oh no! I drop one here and I get like cat hair all over it.
No, I had my
ragdolls
this morning, and then I spilled a cup of tea everywhere.
Oh, you got to be kidding!
No.
It's like me last night. Coming home from your place, I got Macca's, and I had 2 coffees in a tray, and they had these frozen drinks that were frozen lemon with apple sour balls in them, you know, the popping pearls in them. I thought, oh, that'd be all right. I'll get a couple of those as well. So I'm coming in with this 4-cup holder thing, 2 bags of McDonald's, my backpack. That's why the lemons and avocados got left in the car. And just as I got in the door, one of the coffees went bang, pop, straight on the floor. Everywhere. So that was lovely. Anyway, put the exit on. Great to talk to you guys. Hope you find Martin's little thing interesting.
Love you and leave you. Bye. I'll see you when I'm looking at it. And that'll be good. Be good out. Hustle a bit.
That's it.
Hey there, thanks for stopping in. We hope you will join us again. We all look forward to next time. We get to talk about true crime. Clues. Justice served in an honest fight. True crime tales till the verdict's right. Solving more than just trivial quests, where sentences rule and the defense rests. Our true crime family is great. All types of topics we debate. Smash that like and ring that bell. Hit subscribe, you might as well.